Hi everyone, my name is Lori, my nickname is Reenie, and this is Reenie Bobini Creations. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to offer you a very warm welcome, and to my subscribers, I'm so glad you're back. So for today, I'm starting my decorating for my outside, and we are going to make these gorgeous Christmas lanterns, and they're just ones I had. I use them all summer, and I just repurposed them, so I thought I would show that to you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so I maybe can one day not have to do my day job anymore. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, let me stop yakking at you and we'll get on with the crafting. So today, these little lanterns, I'm repurposing them. I've had them for summer. You can see there's one sort of got a different pattern than the other. I'm not too worried about that for what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna do them up for my Christmas walkway. So I did take them all apart. You can see that you can do that. That's why I didn't put them back together, so you would know. Now they did come originally with some LED lights. This one had an LED candle, these had the string lights. But they've been outside for years and so they're not working anymore, but that's not a big deal. We can certainly add some more, which is what we're going to do. So to start, like I said, I wanted to show you I could take them apart and clean them. Their hangers, because I did something different before, are gone, but we're going to address that and make new hangers for them. So I'm just going to work on one here so I can show you. So I'm going to put the lid back on to start. Now you can, of course, fill these with ornaments, with florals, whatever. I'm going to leave mine plain and decorate the outside. So when I'm doing a craft like this, where I have an idea and I'm going to build it as I go, I just sort of dig into my stash. I know the color scheme that I'm kind of going for here. I want red and white. My house is good with red. And so I just start picking through my stash to see what I've got. So I pulled out all these florals, as I said. I did buy these 3 cork lights that we're going to use inside here. But I live in a climate, I'm in Alberta, Canada, and it gets really cold here, like minus 40 degrees Celsius cold, like very cold. So I'm not going to be, if I just hot glue everything to the plastic, it's going to pop off. So what I'm going to do, and you're going to say, well, won't it pop off there? Not as much because it sort of melts in. I've got this pool noodle, and I'm going to cut it so it sort of fits on the top. I'm going to use that to put all my florals in. And then I'm going to use some wire or string or something to actually adhere it to here. Just so that if the weather gets really cold, which eventually it will, they're not falling off. So I just have this old pool noodle, again repurposing it from an old craft, and I just need enough to sort of poke the stems in. The other thing we get a lot here is wind in the winter with the snow. So using a couple of different methods to keep it in place is going to help me. Now, I'll be honest, chances are it is just still gonna, eventually I'll have to go rescue them because the wind blows so high and so hard, but it usually does okay. I just sort of have to straighten them up a bit. But if you live in a milder climate, you can certainly just hot glue right to your lanterns. Oh, I didn't mention too, all 3 of these lanterns did come from Dollarama. So to start, we'll just set that aside for a moment. Oh, and the other thing is I have a stash of bits and pieces for Christmas, like bells and little snowmen. So I don't know if I'm going to use them, but when you're doing a craft like this, like I said, just pull out what you already have in your stash. If you're like me and you've been around the world, around on this planet for a little while, you have a lot of stuff. So rather than running to the store, I just see what I've got to work with. Now sometimes, of course, you go, yep, I do need something else, and you run to the store, but start with what you've got. So I'm gonna get some ribbon to start so we can kind of hide our green pool noodle here. and we'll just hide that with some ribbon, and then we will start putting our piece together here. So here is my ribbon. Now when I glue the ribbon on the thing, I know I was saying that the cold weather doesn't like the hot glue, and that is true, but for some things it almost melts it together, which is going to be the case with my pool noodle. So for this I am just going to glue it around, and it will stay well enough for our purposes. There we go. So now I'm just going to start. Now I did leave a little bit of a lip just so I can sort of sit over a little bit. So let me move that off to the side. Oh my goodness, if you could see the sides of where I have all this stuff I might want to use, it's a mess. So we're not going to look at that. So then I'm just going to start. Now I do have my little pliers, and I'm going to start just sticking things in where I think I need them to go. And then we definitely need a bow on here. So I've got the one that I wrapped it with. And then I've got this other ribbon as well that I pulled off. And so I'm just gonna flip them over on themselves. Just as many times as you like. I'm kind of letting my tail hang out just a little bit so I can find it, and so I'm going to dovetail this when we're done. Okay, I think that's probably pretty good for the size I'm doing. So as I said, I'm going to pull those out. I have my handy twist tie. I'm going to twist tie it in the middle, but I'm not gonna like get rid of it yet because I'm gonna attach the other bow to it as well. Oh, middle's better. Apparently I can't find middle very well. That wasn't even close. Here we go. There. And then I'm gonna do the same with the other ribbon. And I'm going to do these loops just a little bit smaller. That might be a bit too small. I think that should about do it. Okay. So again, we're going to add it to the one we already have. Taking that twist tie, which is hopefully long enough. Yes, it is. Now, of course, you can use pipe cleaners for this, twine, whatever you have on hand. Okay, and we're going to twist it pretty tight here. I'm going to pull my tails out. If I can find the other one. And we're going to fluff our bows. Tail, around. And we'll do a little more fluffing and positioning once we get this where we want it. But first I am going to dovetail those little ends. All right, there we go. And now to tuck those into our little piece here, I am going to use a skewer, which I did not put on the craft table. One moment. Okay, skewer. I don't need it to be quite that long, so just break it off. And then I'm just going to sort of stick it through my twist tie pipe cleaner, whatever you're using. Now you can glue this if you want. I try to avoid that because sometimes I like to repurpose, reuse next year, whatever. Because this one's outside, maybe I won't get that opportunity, but you never know. So I'm just gonna do it that way. And I'm just gonna stick that right in the back, just like that. So it's quite large, which is kind of what I was going for. And the reason, just let me make sure I get that in there good, that I didn't do the next part first is because I wanted to make sure it was going to loop around. So this is our little arrangement. Get some of this other stuff out of the way here. So now we're going to want to put it on our lantern. But I want my lantern to hang. I've got some of the hooks that you can hang, you know, like hanging baskets, that sort of thing out of. And I'm gonna hang these on there out in my yard. So I have my wire here, and this is just garden wire from the Dollar Tree. Nope, Dollarama, one of the two. And I'll find the end. Okay, found the end. That was way harder than it should have been. And I have to make sure it's tall enough to go over my thing here. So I just want to sort of measure it, sort of. Okay, so we need to make our handle and put our lights in before we put this all together. So the first thing we're going to do is put our lights in. So they all have just the right spot for it. If I can find out the opening. Why isn't mine coming on? They came without batteries. I've never seen that before. Have you ever seen that before? Every time I buy them, they have batteries in them, and these ones don't. Well then. Okay, well that's a pain in the butt. I don't even have that kind of battery. Okay, let's go on to plan B. We will have to, when I get the ones with the batteries, or find batteries for these guys, I'll probably just have to take off the top and insert it that way. And because we do have the hole, it might be tight, but I can melt it big enough. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Because, yeah, didn't really see that happening, to be honest. Never seen that before. Okay, so we're going to, for the sake of today's craft, I found some other lights that I had in my stash. They're not the cork lights, so they won't fit in the little hole, but we'll get the final effect anyway, and then once I find the batteries or get some replacements, we'll do that. But just for today. So I'm just shoving them in there with no particular rhyme or reason, and just folding it over. So I'm going to set that aside now that our lights are in. And so now we're going to work on putting our top on there. Now, like I said, if you're in a nice climate, you do not have to do this. You can certainly just just hot glue it on, whatever works for you, whatever adhesive you like to use. But because I'm not, so I'm going to take this piece of wire and I'm going to sort of push it through my pool noodle to the other side. And I'm sure I have way too much wire, but that's okay. So now we've got it on the wire. So now I'm going to stick it in the little side holes. Now I'll do my best to show you. So on the little sides there. I'm going to push it through both sides. Until I've got it nice and snug. I'll position it however I think I need it. And then I'm just going to twist them. And for this I will use my pliers. I'm just going to do one quick twist to keep it in place while I twist it. So that's what we're kind of where we're at. And I'm just going to twist them tight so they don't go anywhere on us. Alright, and once that's done, I'm just going to clip off my ends. There. Now I see I lost a poinsettia, so let's tuck him back in. So there's our top. So now we just need to give him a handle. And to do that, I've got this larger piece here. And I'm going to, oh, I shouldn't have crooked the one end. So I got one of my straight ends. I'm going to go in through the bottom, through one of those same little holes, and pull it through. Now this is going to be a bit finicky. I hope you can see. Can you see in there what I've done? Poke it through. And then I'm going to go, once I've got enough length to go over it, I'm going to do the same thing. This one's going to be a little tricky to get in the hole. That's not so bad actually. And I'm going to push it back through the hole. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to twist tie it with my pliers because it is a little heavier duty than a twist tie, obviously. And I'm going to clip off my tail. Oh, got too many there. I can't get it. This is really good garden wire, I'll tell you that, because I usually don't have this much trouble, but it is pretty thick. I'm having so much trouble. Oh, we got the other one tucked in there too. That's why. That's better. Okay. So there's our little garden lantern top. I'm just going to fluff my bows out here. And then we're going to pop this right back on top. It does take a little pressure, but not too much. There we go. I am going to, when it's done, I'm going to glue the, or sorry, not glue, I'm going to tape my battery pack because I'm pretty sure I'm going to replace these with the little cork lights. That's how it's going to look. So I'm going to do the same sort of thing to all three. And then we're going to take it outside and hang them. I just felt like it needed tails. So because I know I've talked about the hot glue being an issue, but because I'm going to be hot gluing ribbon to ribbon on the round pool noodle part, it will work. I just felt like it was missing that. So I just cut 2 of each, 2 of this one and 2 of that one, dovetailed them, and I'm just going to glue them right straight on to the ribbon part that's covering our pool noodle, just to give it that hanging down thing. I just felt like it really needed that, so that's what we're going to do here. And I'm not going to lay it flat, I'm going to kind of smush it up so it looks like, you know, it's part of the actual bow. And I'll just hold it there for a moment until it adheres. And then I'm going to put this one pretty much right on top or right next to it. And because they're the ribbon bows, you can sort of play with them and lay them where you want them to go, and I'll do that to both sides. Yeah, so I definitely like that better. That was the difference that I needed there.